Welcome to Books That Spark, a podcast for parents and caregivers celebrating books that help us with everyday discipleship every day, sparking important conversations with our children. Today, I want to do a quick episode about dragons because I am very happy to announce that my chapter book, Drandar the Dragon Knight, is coming out soon. And the reason I'm talking about it now instead of later when it comes out in February is because if you pre order this book on my website or on Amazon, you can receive a free Christmas story. And it's a story that shares the gospel and the message of Christmas. And our main character is Drandar, who is a dragon. And he's a dragon who has struggled with who he is and what the king's plan is for his life. And so there's a little bit of an allegorical element to it, but it shares the gospel pretty straightforward. And so I would love to be able to give you this story. It's a 3-chapter story. The chapter book has several chapters, 14 or 15 chapters, and it will come out, like I said, in February. And this book has been in the works for a very long time because I started out with it as a picture book. And then every time I had it critiqued, they said this needs to be a chapter book. But I had never written a chapter book. And so I had to learn the differences and how to write a chapter book. And I've had such a good time. It's been so much fun. My daughter illustrated the book, and she's an amazing artist, and I hope that you will be blessed by it. And so that is Drandar the Dragon Knight that will be out in February. And you can see the cover on the blog post for this episode, but also on my website and on Amazon. And if you pre order, you get this free story. We also have stickers of Drandar if your kids like stickers. And so those are also available on my website. Those are not available on Amazon. So that's my little plug for today that I wanted to let you know about. I'm very excited about this story. Like I said, there's an allegorical element to it. The book and the Christmas story share what the Christian life is like, what it means to be a follower of Jesus. That is woven into the story in several places. The main book is really funny, and I think your kids will enjoy it. I've had some kids read it and they really liked it, and so I hope it will bless you and your kids too. But my kids love dragons, and they always have, and my daughter especially. She actually has her own shop where she has all her dragon drawings and dragon blankets and everything. I'll put that link in the show notes too, and a little note about her. But her name is Rochelle, but she goes by Kiara when it comes to her dragons. There are some adorable books about dragons, and you may have heard Dragons Love Tacos. That one's been out for a while. But I found some really adorable books that I had not read before. And so I don't know if you're like me. This one just came out in October. And it is a beautiful story, just the cutest ever. And it's called The Bakery Dragon by Devin L. Kurtz. And if you love dragons or your kids love dragons, you should get this book. It's got such a sweet message to it and is just adorable. And so I really love this one. It's like I said, it's called The Bakery Dragon. And Ember is the name of the main dragon. I love that name. But Ember has always been different from the other dragons. His fearsome roar sounds more like a polite sneeze. And when he breathes fire, the villagers just pat his head and say, "Aw." And it talks about how all the dragons have their gold, and he's trying to get some gold and he just can't get it all together. And it's so cute. And I love this too because Drandar is kind of like poor little Ember, same kind of situation where he is not very fearsome when he thinks he should be. So you'll see that element in my story as well, which I thought was kind of fun. Okay, so that's my favorite of these. Another one is not technically a dragon story, although a dragon is in there. It's called The Most Boring Book Ever by Brandon Sanderson. And I like this one just because it's ironic. And actually, the real story is told in the illustrations, which are by Katsu Kibuishi. I'm not sure how to say the name, but this one's great, especially for your older picture book age kids. I think they would really get into this one because this kid is like this is so boring. Life is so boring. Nothing exciting is happening. And if you look at the pictures, you see a different story than what the words are saying. So it's very clever, very cute. And if you're dealing with picture books and talking about literary devices, this is a good one for irony, verbal irony, kind of situational irony, maybe, but mostly verbal irony. And so that's a good one to use as an example. You will just love it. Now, this one I mentioned before when Kristen, when Alda and I were talking about the award winning books. And I love this book. It's called The Truth About Dragons. And it came out in 2023. And it shows this family that has two traditions. It's a biracial family. And so this child knows it's referring to them as two dragons, but it's really his grandma's. And you get that as you read the story. But I love how it shows family and embracing both cultures and experiencing the two cultures and appreciating both of them. It's just beautiful. I just think it's a great book. This one is written by Julie Leung and illustrated by Hannah Cha. And so I really, really love this book, and I think you'll enjoy it too. There's so many other dragon books out there, but I think these are my favorite ones that I've found lately. I still like Dragons Love Tacos. I still like Eric Carle's Dragons and Dragons. He illustrated a bunch of poems that are about mythological creatures, so that's kind of fun. There's one, Oh, My Dragon's Hungry by Katie Weaver. But these are definitely my three out of all the ones I know of because we read a lot of dragon books. These are my three favorites. And I hope you will take time to check out Drandar. Like I said, it will be listed on Amazon probably this week. So take a look. And if you can't find it there, you can always go to my website, terryhellardbrown.com, and find information about it there. But I'm really excited for this book to be out. It's like I said, we've been working on it for 16 years from the very first time. I wrote the story originally for my daughter. As if you've listened to our podcast, you know that she's on the autism spectrum. And so she's always felt like she didn't fit in. She always felt like she was kind of less than. And so I wrote this story for her about a little dragon who was a late bloomer and who struggled with being a dragon. And yet he was destined to be a knight. And only every 100 years, a dragon is chosen to be part of the king's group of knights. And it's not like he wears armor like a knight, but he is part of that team in helping to protect the king and the kingdom and making the kingdom a safe place for people. And so it started with this little short story. And what I did, it was so much fun. I gave it to her for Christmas. And what I told her before Christmas is I said, I need you to draw some pictures for me, but not ask any questions. And so I described what I wanted in the pictures, and she drew them for me, and I put them in the book and had them copied and bound in a little book for her for Christmas. Well, that was the first iteration of the book, and I've edited it and added to it because I had like 5, 6 stories in the series and just kept finding new things I wanted to talk about Drandar because he was such a fun little character. I fell in love with him. Then, like I said, as I had it professionally critiqued, every single time they would say, this needs to be a chapter book. So I finally said, okay, fine. I've got to figure out how to write a chapter book. So I did some research and studied, and I had a friend that we've interviewed on this podcast who said, you can do this. And she had a book she actually wrote about how to write chapter books. And so I got her book, and I have been working on it now for a couple years as a chapter book and working on it, getting it edited, getting it critiqued, working on it. And we finally have it finished and we'll have it out in February. So I'm so, so excited. It's been a long journey. I hope that you will check it out. I hope you will buy it for your kids. And like I said, if you pre-order it, you will get the Christmas story sent to your email, and it will be a PDF. And if you would like it as a bound book, we can talk about that too. But it's a 3-chapter Christmas story, and that will come in your email. I can't wait to share it with you. I hope you'll check it out. And like I said, the stickers will be on my website as well. It's a lot of fun, and dragons can be a lot of fun to read about. And Drandar is a goofy little dragon who is just the sweetest thing ever. I think he is just a good picture of what we can become when we don't give up. If you have any questions or comments, you can always put those in the show notes at terryhillardbrown.com. And we answer every question and respond to every comment. And so feel free to do that. Feel free to tell others about it. This is a good deal. I mean, you get a 3-chapter book for free if you pre-order Drandar. And Drandar is priced very inexpensively to begin with. So check it out. We'd love to have you see what you think and get to meet Drandar in the Christmas story. Thank you for joining us for Books That Spark, where we encourage each other to grasp those teachable moments sparked by great books and to live out everyday discipleship, helping to equip our children to follow Christ with their whole heart. We truly appreciate you. Like I said, we would love for you to like and share and ask any questions or make any comments you have at terryhillardbrown.com on the blog post. We love to hear from you. We pray that you feel empowered to walk by faith and to embrace everyday discipleship every day with the children in your life.